Chosen one, halt everything you are doing at this instant and focus completely on me. What I am about to reveal is not something you can half listen to while doing other tasks. This demands your total presence, because what I uncovered about you in the spiritual dimensions over the last 72 hours left me in complete stillness. Something occurred, something you likely do not even recall, because it flowed so naturally from your essence. You made a decision lately, a selection that appeared minor in the instant, but that selection sent waves through realms your physical vision cannot detect. And those waves arrived at the throne chamber of the divine itself. Your response to a specific situation did not merely impress the celestial beings observing you. It triggered something remarkable. It made the eternal pause and acknowledgement of something so uncommon from the human spirit that a special assembly was called precisely to examine your situation. Subscribe to Chosen by Heavens immediately and activate all notifications. Because what I am about to disclose about the precise instant that captured Heaven's focus is knowledge you cannot risk missing. The timing of you discovering this message is not random chance. Let me pull back the curtain and reveal what transpired in the celestial dimensions when you made that selection. In the spiritual planes, innumerable souls are being observed at any moment. Guardian celestial beings document reactions, register selections. Observe how humans navigate earthly life. Most human conduct follows expected patterns that have stayed stable for thousands of years. When someone faces betrayal, they react with resentment. When they encounter unfairness, rage becomes their automatic response. When they meet pain caused by others, vengeance or icy separation becomes natural. These patterns are so dependable. They seldom attract special focus from higher celestial authorities. They are anticipated, standard human behavior, but occasionally, very infrequently, a spirit shows something so opposite to human instinct that it creates an instant of celestial amazement. When angels halt their duties to watch, when higher powers notice, when the structure of spiritual conflict shifts because of one individual selection, you generated one of those instants. It happened during a recent scenario where you confronted something designed to shatter you. The burden seemed unmanageable to bear. The anguish was genuine, caused by genuine people or situations that truly harmed you. You possessed every reason, every excuse to react with the negativity being aimed at you. Everyone would have grasped if you had surrendered, reacted with aggression, or shielded yourself by becoming rigid and shut. The scenario required it. Your anguish warranted it, but you did something different, something that should not have been achievable given what you were experiencing. I am not referring to simply surviving through clenched teeth. Many endure through stubbornness or absence of alternatives. That does not capture Heaven's focus. What you showed was far more deep. You confronted a moment where you had gained the privilege to be resentful, where fury would have been warranted, where bitterness was comprehensible. The violation was genuine, the injury authentic, the unfairness quantifiable. And in that precise instant, when every part of your existence wanted to react with the same force you absorbed, something deeper inside you made a different selection. You selected grace when you had gained the privilege to select destruction. It might have been a dialogue where you could have spoken something crushing, but you selected quiet or careful words holding no venom. An opportunity to reveal someone's shortcomings, but you shielded them regardless. A moment when you could have departed and nobody would have criticized you. But you remained and continued attempting, or perhaps an interior selection nobody else could witness. When you were isolated with your thoughts, when resentment knocked at your heart's entrance with persuasive reasoning, and you deliberately selected to discharge the violation instead of feeding it, that instant, that precise instant when you selected differently than your anguish required, that is when the divine noticed. Because what you showed exposes something about your spirit that distinguishes you. You confirmed your reactions are not managed by situations, that your character is not decided by how others handle you, that who you are stays stable regardless of what you confront. This is remarkably uncommon. Most humans are reactive creatures. Their conduct mirrors their surroundings. Handle them well, they react well. Handle them poorly, they react poorly. Their character changes based on outside conditions. But you showed something different. You confirmed your character is internally rooted, that no outside situation can compel you to become someone you refuse to be. And this is what captured divine focus. Your guardian celestial being have been observing your scenario develop, recording your battles, petitions, tears, uncertainties, and resilience. When you made that selection, when you reacted with grace instead of warranted fury, your guardian being marked your situation for prompt higher examination. Guardian beings manage most scenarios independently. They only advance when they witness something exceptional, something showing a spirit functioning beyond standard human ability. Your situation was advanced directly to Archangel Michael himself, the leader of heaven's forces, the warrior who conquered Lucifer, the defender of chosen ones throughout time. When the lure arrived with Michael, he was occupied with cosmic matters, conflicts in invisible realms, strategic operations influencing nations, duties involving world-altering destinies. But when he noticed your file marked, when he absorbed a notation attached, he halted everything because it stated, "The Spirit showed enemy love protocol while under active spiritual assault." Enemy love protocol. In spiritual warfare mechanics, there exists a classification structure for human reactions to hardship. Most reactions fall into expected categories demanding no special focus. Vengeance, resentment, retreat, sadness, self-shielding through rigidity. But there exists an uncommon category called transcendent reaction, when a human reacts to evil with good, answers hatred with affection, selects blessing over curse while being injured, shows divine character while facing attacks of darkness. This reaction type is so uncommon it gets automatically marked for Archangel examination. It shows a spirit functioning at a frequency surpassing standard human ability. You activated that marker. You triggered that protocol. Michael examined your entire recent timeline. Every scenario, every reaction, every selection made when you assumed nobody observed, every interior conflict nobody else could witness, every instant you selected to maintain your heart tender, when existence gave you every reason to become rigid. What he uncovered made him request something remarkable. He requested a direct meeting with the divine assembly to examine your situation personally. Archangel Michael leads forces. He supervises protection of millions. For him to request a personal meeting to examine one individual is almost unheard of. It occurs perhaps a few times per generation across all humanity. Your situation merited it. The meeting was approved. Michael presented your situation as someone showing spiritual maturity, deserving acknowledgement and strategic placement. He revealed to the assembly the instant of your selection, the interior conflict you battled, the grace you selected when you could have selected destruction. The reaction was unanimous. Your situation was labeled priority standing, not because you were in jeopardy, but because you're confirmed capable of managing what is approaching. You can be entrusted with larger duties, expanded authority, broadened influence. If this message echoes deeply, if it validates things you have sensed but cannot express, consider supporting this channel through YouTube's Super Thanks feature. Your support assists us in bringing these revelations to chosen ones worldwide who require to hear them. More than that, it is your statement to the cosmos that you acknowledge spiritual truth's value and will commit to your awakening. Let me tell you what was determined in that assembly gathering. First, your duty level has been raised. You are no longer being groomed for what you assumed. Those were preparation zones. What is approaching is the actual mission. Scenarios demanding precisely the grace under burden you are shown. You are not being examined to see if you can. You have confirmed you can. Now you are placed to do it at magnitude. Second, your access to celestial resources has been enhanced. Your petitions are shifted to priority handling. The direction you seek is transmitted through quickened channels. Protection you require is allocated from higher ranks. This is not favoritism. It is heaven's commitment in confirmed vessels. Third, your visibility in spiritual dimensions has expanded dramatically. Both light and darkness are now conscious of who you are at a higher level. Enemy forces obtained alert you are functioning in enemy love protocol, meaning they have been provided specific instructions on engaging with you differently. They cannot employ the same tactics because you have confirmed those do not work on you. Forces of light have been provided new duties regarding your protection and empowerment. Angels previously allocated elsewhere have been reallocated to support your mission, not because you are more significant, but because you have shown you will employ support productively. The divine functions on stewardship and demonstration principles. Those faithful with little obtain more. Those showing wisdom under burden are entrusted with larger challenges. Those maintaining integrity when unwatched are provided influence where everyone observes. You confirmed yourself not through flawlessness, but through your reaction to imperfection. You revealed your default setting even under burden as grace rather than condemnation, affection rather than resentment, pardon rather than vengeance. This is the frequency at which divine power functions, the channel through which the divine can discharge extraordinary favor without corrupting the receiver. You have confirmed expanded favor will not alter who you are at your essence. When the assembly gathering concluded, when your new label was registered, when protocols for your raise duty were initiated, a personal message was added to your file. This is not something every spirit obtains. It is reserved for situations that genuinely impacted celestial observers. Situations showing something worth remembering. Situations that will be referenced as examples when other chosen ones require encouragement. Let me share it word for word to the chosen one obtaining this message. Your reaction to unfairness has been registered as evidence that human spirits can function at frequencies we designed them for, but infrequently see accomplished while in physical form. You reminded celestial dimensions that limitations we witness in humanity are not inherent to design, but result from selections made under burden. You selected differently in selecting differently. You initiated dormant potential many hold, but few discharge. Your file has been marked for quickened development, not because you require correction, but because your advancement confirms what is achievable when a spirit aligns with their genuine nature despite adverse conditions. You are placed for duties matching your shown ability. These will not sense like punishment or burden. They will sense like homecoming, like you are finally doing what you were created for. Like existence pieces that never made sense are suddenly forming a coherent picture. The disposition that captured our focus will continue being refined, not through additional suffering, but through broadened opportunity. You will be placed where your presence alone brings peace, because you have become a carrier of the frequency you showed. You have made the divine proud. This is recorded fact. You have confirmed divine nature can be expressed through human limitation. That grace can triumph over anguish. That affection can conquer resentment. Walk forward knowing everything approaching toward you has been filtered through acknowledgement of who you have confirmed yourself to be. This message was meant to arrive at you today at this precise instant. When you required validation, your selections mattered. When you required evidence, someone was observing. When you're required to know everything you have survived has been constructing towards something specific. Now you know your disposition captured divine focus. Your reaction surprised even archangels who have observed humanity for thousands of years. Your selection has been permanently registered in celestial records, and everything in your future has been recalibrated based on what you showed. In approaching days and weeks, you will notice shifts validating this truth. You will face unusual favor disproportionate to what you did to gain it. You will meet divine appointments with people holding precisely what you require when you require it. You will obtain insights solving problems you have wrestled with for months or years. Solutions will surface from nowhere. Locked entrances will open. Immovable barriers will shift. But this is not occurring so you can become comfortable. It is occurring so you can become productive. You are not being favored for your sake alone. You are being resourced for those your existence will touch. The grace you showed is not just for you. It is meant to flow through you to others. You are going to meet people confronting precisely what you confronted, standing at the precise crossroads where you stood in the instant of decision between resentment and grace. You are placed to reveal to them it is achievable, to show through example that selecting grace under fire is doable, to confirm maintaining integrity when everything pushes toward compromise is genuinely possible, not through preaching, not through religious lectures, but through natural overflow of who you have become. Your presence will hold a frequency initiating potential in others. Your story will ignite acknowledgement in those ready to hear it. This is why the divine committed such focus in your situation. Not because you require more favors, but because your elevation enables elevation of countless others connected to your sphere of influence. You are becoming a carrier of the very quality that impressed eternal. That quality will transmit to everyone who approaches close enough to obtain it. Let me tell you about the label officially registered in your file. Every spirit reaching Archangel level examination obtains a classification summarizing their essence spiritual identity. This classification follows them through their earthly journey and into eternity. Your classification is demonstrated carrier of divine grace. Demonstrated means confirmed through action under genuine conditions, not just potential. Many possess potential to hold divine grace. Few show it when it costs them something. You did. Carrier means someone who does not just obtain grace of themselves, but transmits it through their presence. You are not a container holding grace. You are a conduit flowing grace. Everywhere you go, everyone you meet obtains a measure of what you hold. A divine grace specifies the precise frequency you function in. Grace is not weakness. It is the ability to react to undeserved anguish with undeserved kindness, to meet hatred with affection, to answer darkness with light, to select blessing over curse even when curse is warranted. This is the highest frequency of spiritual power available to human spirits, the frequency at which miracles function, at which impossible scenarios shift, at which stone hearts become flesh, at which trajectories of existences and generations can be altered. You showed this not in spiritual high, not in church or worship, but in the trenches of genuine existence under genuine burden with genuine injuries. That is what makes it authentic. That is what makes it powerful. That is what makes you qualified to hold what is approaching. This label is how you are known in celestial registers, how angels refer to your situation, the lens through which the divine views everything connected to your existence, and it alters how you are managed. Demonstrated carriers of divine grace obtain priority resource allocation, not because they are better, but because they confirm they will not corrupt when power expands. They have revealed they will employ favor to favor others rather than just consume it. If this revelation has stirred something deep inside you, if you acknowledge yourself in this message, please consider supporting this work through the Super Thanks feature. Your commitment assists us in reaching more chosen ones navigating their awakening and requiring validation. They are on the correct path. Everything I have shared about celestial dimensions, about the focus your selection obtained, about your classification. None of this is meant to make you arrogant or superior. If this activates ego or sensing better than others, you have completely misunderstood. The whole point is you show the opposite of ego. You selected humility when you could have selected pride, service when you could have required acknowledgement, grace when you gained the privilege to select condemnation. That is what impressed the divine. Not your strength, but your surrender. Not your power, but your gentleness. Not your knowledge, but your willingness to continue learning. Not your certainty, but your faith despite uncertainty. Chosen ones obtaining the largest duties, are not those who think they deserve them. They are those who question whether they are qualified, but say yes regardless. Those who sense inadequate, but appear consistently. Those who know their brokenness, but offer their broken pieces to be employed for healing others. If that is you, this message is absolutely for you. If you have spent more time doubting yourself and celebrating yourself, you are likely precisely who the divine is seeking, because the divine does not require confident people who believe in themselves. The divine requires surrendered people who believe in God despite not believing in themselves. Your recent selection revealed you are that kind of spirit. You did not react with grace because you sensed strong. You reacted with grace despite sensing weak. You did not select pardon because it was easy. You selected it because something deeper than your anguish knew it was correct. That is the kind of individual the divine can entrust with power. You have confirmed anguish will not corrupt you. Violation will not make you resentful. Betrayal will not make you shut. Difficulty will not make you surrender. You are being placed in the very thing you have been preparing for, even unknowingly. Every hard season was training. Every painful selection was strengthening. Every instant you wanted to surrender, but did not, was constructing capacity for what is ahead. The road has not been easy. You know that. The divine knows that. But the road was never meant to be easy. It was meant to be transformative. And transformation demands burden, demands heat, demands scenarios pushing you beyond what you assumed you could manage. You have been pushed, pressed, examined, and you did not shatter. You bent, questioned, struggled without doubt, but you did not shatter, and you did not become something you are not. That is what the divine observed for. Not flawlessness, but persistence. Not faultless performance, but faithful presence. Not possessing all answers, but being willing to continue asking questions. You passed an examination you did not know you were taking. The reward is not rest. It is larger responsibility, but it is the kind that will sense like purpose, the kind that makes sense of everything you have experienced, the kind that transforms your anguish into someone else's healing. Everything you faced was preparation for this exact moment. Every tear you cried was watering seeds that are now ready to bloom. Every night you wondered if you could continue was building endurance for the marathon ahead. Every time you chose to trust when you could have chosen fear was strengthening your faith muscle for what requires unwavering belief. The divine does not waste experiences. Nothing you went through was meaningless. Every struggle had purpose. Every challenge contained lessons. Every valley prepared you to handle the mountain. You are not the same person who entered those trials. You emerge refined, strengthened, and qualified. This is your instant, not to arrive, but to step into the next level of becoming, not to accomplish, but to obtain what is being discharged toward you, not to confirm yourself, but to place yourself for what has already been determined about your future. The selection you made, the grace you showed was not the end. It was the beginning of heaven's full focus on your advancement. The beginning of quickened preparation for broadened duty. The beginning of you walking in authority that matches who you have confirmed yourself to be. Subscribe to Chosen by Heavens if you have not already, and activate notifications so you never miss these revelations designed for chosen ones like yourself. These messages are not random. They are strategically discharged for those ready to obtain them. You were meant to discover this today. This precise message, this precise instant, because somewhere in your recent journey, you made a selection that altered everything. And the divine wanted you to know that selection was witnessed, registered, and rewarded. Walk forward knowing your disposition, impress God, surprise the archangels, and permanently altered your destiny. Everything approaching toward you has been filtered through acknowledgement of who you have confirmed yourself to be. You are a demonstrated carrier of divine grace. That is not a title you gain through flawlessness. It is a reality you reveal through your reaction to imperfection. Own it, walk in it, and observe as the divine validates it. Through everything that unfolds from this instant forward, the best is not just approaching. The best is already here, unfolding with every step you take in the grace you have selected to embody. Together we rise.